Hello and welcome, one and all, to An Unlikely Tale, The New Few. Based in the Sword Coasts of Faerun, where we use a combination of 5th edition, Pathfinder 1st edition, a dash of homebrew, and a sprinkling of the classic Rule of Cool. Tonight we'll be continuing our intrepid journey to understand the nature of their destinies and potentially save the very fabric of the New Few's world. While having a little fun along the way, of course. However, do note that this is a brutal, grim-dark adventure filled with all types of various hardships, struggles, and injustices. So if you have a low constitution score, like Silas, you may want to grab some advantage for those saves. With all that said, my friends, welcome, welcome, welcome. With recent events unfolding, I'm excited to see how everything goes forward. But without further ado, allow me to introduce our beloved cast of players.
His name is God of
Hello?
Leisure.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello?
God of Leisure,
Oh,
huh?
hi. How you doing?
Why, thank you. I'm humbled by that title.
No.
Yeah,
It's a
we're-
good title.
You might not like it after you hear what happens.
Oh, well, never mind. I retract my previous
Yeah.
statement.
Here, just so I don't say it because we're streaming.
Understandable.
Let me just.
Yeah.
Let me
Let's,
just.
let's try
post
not
up
to.
right there.
Okay.
Just creepy. Just creepy.
What is with that mask? Anyway, hello.
Yeah, that's
Hello,
That is a
hello,
little-
hello.
that is in fact a little sus.
Oh, okay.
That is in fact a little sus.
Okay, yep, cool.
Sorry.
Quirky.
Sorry.
Indeed.
You'll see why I made that noise. Hold on. You'll see. You'll see why I made that noise.
With that said, how's it going, guys? Back again after another
Alright.
week.
I am excited.
Need to cry. Prospects are looking good. You guys got a new employer. You got new equipment coming. You got purpose. You got direction.
Oh yeah, about that. I mean, I already told you what I'm interested in weapon-wise, so yeah,
Did you?
pretty sure. Or I implied it anyway. But basically, literally just Reinhardt's hammer. with a twisted
Ah,
straw.
yes. Oh, okay.
Did you get what
Yeah.
I wanted?
Yeah,
Actually, Gus has an idea for Tad the Small.
yeah,
I was thinking
we
of-
could definitely pick back up into that, cause after recap, you'll understand.
Did you get what I wanted, Silas?
Something like that.
No. Did you get what?
Look at your
what I wanted?
sheet. Look at just look, and say nothing, and just wait.
Okay.
How about that recap, guys?
What's going on? Wait,
Uh,
did I miss something?
Not at all.
I'm sorry. I'm literally running in like
that's not what I
0
asked
hours
for,
of
and you
sleep
know
right
it's
now.
not. I'm kidding.
Oh,
Ooh.
Fret not. Don't worry
Let's
about
shut
it. Yeah. Don't worry, guys. No worries. We'll get to the specifics of everything. Don't
I'm
worry.
scared.
All right. 1 second. Do bear with me. It seems my PC is acting a little funky, a little slow today. But
check your CPU case. Maybe your cat's inside it.
So,
Yeah.
how do you guys feel
Like
about
cooling.
tea?
Hmm?
An okay letter.
No, the drink.
What do you
I
think?
prefer coffee. I usually prefer coffee, but I don't mind tea. once in a while. I prefer the stronger kinds rather than the
What type of
more
tea?
mellow kinds.
That's up to you.
No,
Mint
it's up to
tea.
you. Mint
Okay,
All
tea,
fine.
right.
goaded.
Black tea.
Like that peppermint tea.
You good to
Yeah.
get
I
going?
That's
would
alright.
fall asleep to that. Yeah.
I like ginger tea. It's useful for the throat.
Anything but green tea. Green tea is overrated.
Okay, black tea.
Green tea is okay for meals. Green tea is good for meals. It's actually a great. It actually works as a great palate cleanser. That's why a lot of Chinese restaurants serve it. Anyway,
Alrighty.
So anyway, black tea.
Shh.
Hot off the heels of the traumatic experience that was Rock Tulkesh's massacre and Jean's departure from the group, our party's struggling to understand everything that has transpired. They take to a solemn air in the wake of Silas leaving with the others, and they wordlessly work together to help clean up the damage from the battle. Once all that remained was the tinged ground where blood once pooled, they break away from one another in the process and take time. Lance stays in the hangar, deciding to record everything he can within his journal, that he might preserve the memories of those innocents lost in the tragedy and help in their remembrance. Caiaphas decides to head out in pursuit of Silas, curious as to what the man had intended for the deceased, and eventually stumbling across a telltale trail of blood, follows it to Pizzoli's manor, where within he sees a strange scene unfold before him. A priestess of an unknown god enters the room, whom he could only assume to be known as Ause, a name he heard mentioned just prior to Silas's departure, and watches as she performs some strange magics over the fallen. And after a moment, at the conclusion of the ritual, those who had passed rise from death, now bearing a pallor akin to a corpse, but carrying none of the hallmarks of undeath. Upon seeing this, and deciding not to intrude, he makes for the Allfathers Tavern, hoping to find Youth. Having left an unidentified shield in her possession, that she might ascertain its true nature, he had returned to reclaim it, in preparation for what he thought to come. And upon doing so, took a moment of reflection in the streets of Barovia. Isla, however, decided to check in on Marin, the strange girl whom had affiliations with the Little Lights, that she had met prior to the incident. And hoping that she was safe after such a gruesome experience, much to her relief, she finds the Little Light well, and excited to see her as she runs up to greet her. The two share in a wholesome exchange as Isla returns the toy Mr. Bones, and the child reveals an unexpected secret as thanks. Bringing Isla to a nearby shed, Marin reveals the real Mr. Bones, a skeletal golem that she had been slowly building since her time in Aurora, but begs Isla to keep it secret. And the two bond over the promise and part ways. Shortly after Isla's departure, Kaz wanders onto the training field, hoping to blow off steam after such a stressful experience. And upon making it there, she is met with the gaze of the various members of the Little Lights whom also were using the training yard. After a time, some of them approach, and after a rather terse misunderstanding, find themselves in a sparring match with Ronald of the Little Lights. After a rather brutal fight, And despite the initial combative nature of the boy, the match is ended with him apologizing for his behavior and offering to continue training with the kobold in the future. Chiquita idles, however, in one of the parks of Aurora, as she has so many times before, watching the various comings and goings of the people. And as she processed her thoughts, meditating on what had happened just hours before, her mind wandering, in the process, she suddenly experiences a vision. The endless cosmos suddenly filled what was her surroundings, as the park vista fades away like vapor in the face of the ominous new setting. Like a camouflaged predator, massive being made of the very celestial bodies themselves can be seen looming ahead. Its movements made apparent only by the strange quivering nature of the space around it. And as it seems to attempt to communicate, despite its greatest efforts, Chiquita couldn't make heads or tails. And as if enraged by this lack of comprehension, a terrible, terrible omen precedes her return to consciousness. As she opens her eyes, the park that she had just been sitting in moments before, a scorched hellscape, burned by the brilliant light that had faded just after the vision had passed. The poor citizenry that were just walking moments before, in their place, ash and scorched shadow. Dazed and shaken by the ordeal, she aimlessly wanders the city until a message can be heard across the sending stones. Silas asked for meeting, and that they gather to discuss what had just transpired aboard the Grim Kindness. Slowly, one by one, they filter in, and upon arriving, he leads them to a war room. A large, long table at its center, bearing a map of the western sword coasts, bordering the Sea of Swords. It is here they take their seats, and with Silas, accompanied a orcish man and a strange tiefling-like woman they had seen earlier during the hangar incident. Subsequently, Silas decided to interrogate the party, attempting to understand what exactly happened leading up to his arrival. And after settling his questions with Caiaphas, learning what he knew about Dog, and confirming that they were all oblivious to the actions of Dog and Jean, he shifts the conversation into another direction. He offers them a job to retrieve a very specific artifact of great value and importance. He reveals this artifact to be known as a Nether Scroll, an ancient artifact bearing arcane knowledge of all types, known to have existed since the First Age. The set composed of 5 scrolls, and of the set, there was only one other duplicate. Its location and knowledge lost to time, left only to the whispers of its existence within the Feywilds, leaving him but this one option. He charges them to go search out this Nether Scroll upon accompanying them to the northern deserts, and warns them that they should not gaze within side. For the risk that comes with the massive knowledge sealed within, those foolish enough tempted to peer within find their minds ruined with this unknowable truth. And then, upon offering this job, he turns to his orcish companion, a man they had come to know as Augustus Flint, and he convinces the man to join the adventurers in both an effort to aid them and ensure the completion of the job. With the party's unanimous acceptance, they spent the remainder of the day getting to know one another better, drinking, and resting. And it's on this new day, the rising of the sun, do our various adventurers stir from wherever they were. They had spent their night. Of these adventures, who is doing what?
May I open with something first?
Sure.
I want to take control of Roko for a moment and have her at the park to investigate, because I'm sure that word spread out very fast about what happens there.
Yeah, by the end of the night, it was completely on the tongues of everybody within Aurora.
Mm-hmm. So she's gonna play detective over there.
The small valley, upon taking the lift to the highest level of the city, save the surface, steps out into the corridor in the direction of the hangars. Pardon me, not the hangars. And steps out in the direction of the park. Sorry, I was reading something else. Don't read while you're narrating. Bad idea. So,
Is it good?
as Roko steps out into this corridor leading to the park district on the third layer below, she's greeted by a grim scene. The entire area scorched black. A fine layer of soot coating everything. What was greenery before is now ash. And the small bits of park furniture, benches, fountains, and other ornamentry have been warped and melted, twisted into non-uniform shape.
Is there anybody else at this scene?
As you look about, you see just the empty expanse before you. From the rumors that you had heard, the wild speculation of the events that had transpired within this space have been as simple as a freak accident, a magical attack, or the divine judgment of the gods themselves. And as a result, majority of the populace have avoided this area since the incidents.
Peculiar. Divine judgment of the gods. Ugh. I can only vaguely believe that, considering the current circumstances.
Heck, I'm gotta pull up the other notes from the other campaign to remember what day it is. Page 9, that's not right. Apologies, just a moment. Here we go. Where exactly in the timeline would this be in comparison to the other campaign, by the way? Oh yeah, I guess it would be before the desert. That would make sense.
It's 3 days before the departure to the desert.
Gotcha. Okay.
Log date October 21st, Cycle 296. It has now been 24 hours since whatever happened at the park. It is entirely in an ashen ruin. The rumors speculated could be sound. Very strong hypothesis. However, I of course aim to find out the full truth.
Throw in the good old big brain in there. That makes it a 20.
And despite your best efforts, you can't find any real clues that allude to what happened here, save that whatever it was of a tremendous output of energy.
So here's a funky question then. Given that Chiquita went around prestidigitating the evidence, would true sight help with the matter?
True sight reveals things for what they truly are. Any manipulations, alterations, or illusionary magics that would obscure something's true state. What you see is a scorched landscape. Nothing is altered, nothing has been changed.
Oh, because I thought she casted prestidigitation on...
Well, technically, prestidigitation cleans up everything. It's not an illusion or anything. It's just
The
it's
removal of debris
Yeah.
and dirt, yeah.
yeah. So it will leave a trace. Simply.
I see.
Also, you could since it's a very basic spell that cantrip after all. I assume almost every other magic practitioner knows it. It's not exactly that telling. I would assume. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said there's not really any clues left behind. Essentially, this place was purged by a massive discharge of light, so bright that it scorched away everything. There's nothing left.
I assume that the melted window that overlooked outside the park is noticeable, right? Because that was another detail I recall.
Yep, it's floating just several feet above the water. You can literally walk to the edge of this window and look out, and roughly maybe 15 to 20 feet below you is the ebbing water of the Savlich Bay.
All right.
Activating flame module.
She floats out the opening in the window to take a look around outside of the place to see if there's any more clues within there. What about a 25?
And as you fly out, using the winged modules of your boots, ascending to the air, roughly several feet from where you had taken off. You kind of ebb out a little bit, turning around and survey the area for any particular clues or evidence that might be standing out as to what may have happened. And the only thing you're able to ascertain is the explosion, blast, or whatever it was, had expanded from the outside, or the inside out, implying that this took place within Aurora and not something from outside.
Seems that we may have another anomaly within Aurora. I shall have to return to my chamber and initiate further sentries to investigate around the entire city. As soon as I hook up the rest of the modules among the backup generator, I shall return for now.
And off she goes back to the chamber below, across from the workshop. At which point, she will wait for Chiquita's appointment, and thus I will say I will move on until that point.
And how about the others? What are you doing with the rising of the early morning sun? It's roughly 8 in the morning currently.
I'd say at about in the crack of dawn, Gus would have a quick breakfast and probably be in the if Silas is in the workshop talking shop with him. Talking about possible business ventures, possible inventions, basically just talk business with him, and that's pretty much it.
And the two of you share in a very deep dialogue as he goes into detail describing a series of weaponry that he wishes to mass produce, as well as a strange blueprint that he had just recently, but a few days ago, gotten his hands on. Or not a few days ago. Well, actually, no. Chronology. No, not yet. Excuse me. Scratch that last part. We'll talk about that a little bit later, Gus. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about that. Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
But
so
yeah.
Yep.
And he he comes to you and he asks you a question. Gus, I've recently been working on a project. I'm sure I've mentioned it in the past. He says as he gestures to the large, what look like massive suits of armor currently being hung up by winches.
Aye, the cloud killers, you call them, I think. Yeah, quite a pretty thing, but I'm pretty sure your little bird friend has enough, can give you enough help with these things. I'm not really my specialty.
Well, no. It's not that I needed help, per se. Well, I do. The production and repair and restoration of these tools is very costly. And without going too far into detail, I'm fairly certain that upon reaching the campsite, it will likely burn out through the remainder of our store. I wanted to know if you could send word to your family and send off for a shipment of mithril.
How much are we talking about, lad?
20 tons?
I think we have roughly 50 just in stock. We could probably scrounge up, but I guess 20 tons is done enough. It's gonna take a while to get here, though. I mean, unless you go to Waterdeep yourself and pick it up there. That'd be a lot easier.
Well, that's just it. I've intentions to go there eventually. But
well then, that
in the
means-
meantime, I wanted to know if you could perhaps expedite it for a little extra. My coffers will hate me for it, but I can forward you a down payment of 10,000 gold.
All right. Well, with the friend bonus, he takes out what it looks like a checkbook. Eventually, it's a tight pack of parchment, and he does some quick computations, and then puts on, writes down a value, puts it down. This'll for 20 tons of mithril, and if you're going to be picking up yourself, I will be saving up the shipping time and shipping costs, so I can get to you for probably this much. And then I shove it in. I'm not really sure how much it would actually cost in this setting. So let's say,
Well, I would, for the entire shipment, it'll be like 30k, I believe.
30 or 40. Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah,
around that.
somewhere around that ballpark. I'd have to look at
Well,
the
if it-
exact chart that I have going on for it, but it's
Alright.
around that margin.
So, okay, if the normal market price is around 30, I would probably sell it to him for around 25, considering the long-standing business we've had.
If he
But-
gives you
and
that
also-
down payment for 10,000, he wants to see if you can send for an airship to drop it off at the dig site. Is pretty much what he's asking.
Oh, so he's asking for...
Yeah, for it
He's
to get
asking for
delivered.
delivery.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. 20 tons is it's a lot. That's gonna take more than one. That's probably gonna take more than one airship. At most, probably 10 tons per airship.
Roughly. Depending on the size class, yeah.
Yeah, well, for most cargo, because it's
It's
you know,
yeah,
it's
it's
steel, and
ore, yeah. Ore is some thick
it's
shit.
ore, and yeah, metal processed metal is lighter than most metal, sure, but 10
Yeah,
tons is still 10 tons.
yeah. Whether it be bricks or feathers.
Yeah, it's still 10 tons. So, all right. In that case, then I'll probably stick to the 25,000 for the actual raw product, and around 5,000 to get it there, because one, it's a long journey. It's kind of out of the trade routes, considering where you want it. So
Yeah.
it's not.
But
It's
they'll
not
get a
going to
head
be-
start because we're not heading to the dig site for another 3 days.
All right. I guess I'll. All right, lad. I'll I'll send word back home to get it there as soon as possible.
Excellent.
Just have to make.
I'll
to
have
make
the
a call
gold
then.
together by the end of the day.
Right. Well, no rush on that. I know you're good for your word. All right, and then he starts writing down what he needs to, and then he starts basically wandering off the workshop to start making some calls. And he peeks back into the workshop. About that thing I asked you for.
He
He's
looks at
asking
you.
about the boots.
Oh, the boots.
Yes.
Well. I might be able to get something sorted by the end of the day.
All right then. And then he wanders off to carry that off. That's good for now. I think that'll keep Gus busy for probably the next few hours.
Fair enough. Lance, Chiquita, Caiaphas, Isla.
I'll go after someone else because there's a plane flying over me right now and I can't even hear.
Wow.
No worries.
How close are you to the runway? Is that noisy?
I don't know. Planes can be pretty dang noisy in the air too if it's just right above your home.
True, but I think no, it just means that either he's near a he's near the landing area. If they're flowing low enough for it to be that noisy. Anyway,
I'll go next. Um.
can rebuild her.
So, Gandiva. I'll do Gandiva first, I guess. And I'm gonna have her. I'm gonna have her go try to find information in the library about those Aeons, as per request.
In which library are you going to? The one within Aurora itself, or the one aboard the Grim Kindness?
Let's go to Xander's house.
With purpose and intention, Chiquita begins to make her way toward...
Gandiva?
Oh, Gandiva. Sorry. Gandiva begins to make her way towards the hangar in hopes of finding more information regarding these strange creatures known as Aeons. Plotting the familiar course that she had taken so many times before, it takes little time before she eventually stands before the door leading to the ship's library, and upon pushing through the oaken portal, she's met by the various stacks, shelves, and piles of books that are practically bursting from within this somewhat cramped space. Without even needing to see or look in his direction, you can feel the telltale eyes of Xanther boring into you from a distance. He says nothing, returning shortly to his texts upon realizing whom had entered.
Alright, I guess I'm gonna look around and try to find anything I can on these Aeons.
An Aeon. Alright. Go ahead and give me a... Give me an investigation roll. 18. Not bad.
I'm getting smarter.
Gandiva scans the various shelves, looking for anything that might stand out. And having spent so much time here studying the deities of this sphere, the books are somewhat familiar in their layout, somewhat easier for you to sift through. And it's not long before you find a book titled Monitors of the Great Beyond. You flip open the book's cover and begin flipping through the pages, scanning them for information, knowledge, anything that might be insightful towards what you seek. What you learn unsettles you. Aeons, creatures ancient and unknowable, existing since the very dawn of creation. This inscrutable family of sentinels serve to preserve balance across the great beyond and all planes there within, either by reinforcing order or promoting chaos when necessary. They tinker with the fabric, the universe, in an effort to maintain a balance inconceivable to the mortal mind. They bear no uniform shape or identifiable features, save the abstract swirl of quintessence that composes their bodies. You learn that these creatures were originally born on the strange, mysterious astral plane. And beyond that they serve a role known only to the divine creator himself, Eo, beyond that which you found within these texts. But there's hope. As you pore over a specific section, you learn that the Aeons, despite their ability to manipulate the very fabric of existence, they bear no culture, society, personality, or memory beyond the present. Beings of the here and now. They embody a greater multiversal principle than anyone could possibly understand. And as such, some part of it makes you feel like perhaps they're not as threatening as they may appear.
Spooky, but I think it'll be okay. It didn't break my brain this time.
Nope, because
That's
you
a good
didn't read
start.
a bad book.
Yeah, it's not a bad book. See, my brain's fine. Well, after Gandiva's done with that, she's gonna go find I guess she'll return to her room, to the quarters, and pray to Asmodeus.
Okay.
Hee Satan.
That's my dad. Don't talk about him like that.
Yeah, don't make it weird.
Daddy Satan, woo.
What? What?
Oh, you made it weird. You made it weird.
Let's go.
Okay. Is it my go?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Ooh, Daddy, I've been forsaken.
Gandiva takes a moment, heading out from the library and withdrawing to the interior space of one of the ship's rooms. Once alone, what does she do?
She takes one of the pillows from the bed and uses it like a cushion on the floor in the center of the room, I guess, and takes a meditative seat on said pillow. She puts her hands together in prayer formation and closes her eyes. And then she says her prayer. Hold on, I'm blind. I have to copy and paste it into a bigger text. All right.
Oh, good, my
So
favorite track.
she says, heed the call within your soul to rise above and claim their thrones. Raise his flag and bring glory to his name. Show them that hell is truly on the mortal plane. Should you fall, do not be afraid. Simply pray and call his name. Lord of lies, deceit, and ambition, Asmodeus, the one who loves us all. It's a work in progress.
I like it.
A crack fills the air, like a whip snapping. The sizzling can be heard just before you, before anything else. The smell of sulfur fills the air, permeating it. That sizzling grows more intensely. Small, sparking embers form the floor and uncharacteristically dance in a uniform shape, forming a perfect circle. It is then, in an almost flamboyant dance, do the embers carve across the wood, to and fro, and as they finished their dance, the sigil of Asmodeus sits at the circle's center. The wood falls away, and it's his horns you see first, as his crimson countenance, dressed in deep, deep azure robes, steps forth, ascending from the hole, not unlike a god. And it's only just so. For before you sits Asmodeus, Prince of Ambition.
Sweet.
A sly smile across his devilishly handsome features. A soft clap as his cane sits rested just in the crook of his arm. Well, I wasn't expecting that. I must say, I haven't heard that prayer in some time.
I did a little research.
Indeed you did. So what do I owe the honor, little demon?
Well, Gandiva gets up and fixes her, her skirt and sighs and says, well, a lot has happened. So much has happened. And there seems to be a new threat on the horizon that I wanted to bring to your attention.
Oh?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Scarlet King?
His face scrunches up in a distasteful expression. Yes, I'm quite aware.
not looking too good. I don't know how much you know about what might be going on, but I also heard another name.
Oh.
Nicodemus.
And that distasteful expression turns into revulsion. Never speak that name in my presence again, little bird. I would hate to have to clip your wings.
Understood.
Now tell me, where did you hear that name?
Well, he just kind of stepped into our home. Like if it was his.
I see.
And took with him some sort of demon that we were fighting, and one of the other party members. A couple of new few people that have come around. One of them apparently now works for that side of things.
So what you're telling me is that you were foolish enough to let a traitor into your midst.
I guess so. We had no idea.
This is most unfortunate, little bird. I was hoping to get better news.
Well, that's why I'm telling you now. Before it gets any worse. Because I don't see it getting any better.
Your intuition is well thought. Nicodemus is one of the most powerful creatures to walk this plane. His abilities nearly rival that of my own, I would say. On a bad day, of course. It hasn't been since the first sundering since I have seen him and his ilk. Denarians.
Yes, I've heard of those as well.
Foul creatures, traitorous each and every one. To serve that Dark Lord is to serve the end of our world. Only a fool would prescribe to that. But it's of little consequence at this point. I have some unfortunate news for you, little bird. Nicodemus is perhaps one of the most cunning men that I've ever met. The fact that he has revealed himself to you likely means that he has already won. He has whatever it is he wants, and he's so secure in his victory that he's taken to gloating. He always was the egotistical sort. Imagine. Well, With that said, your next best course of action would likely be to complete that little job that I gave you. You do remember, right?
Yes, I do. And I plan to complete it. We're heading in that direction in a couple days, actually.
Excellent. You might want to bring an army with you. It'll buy you enough time to say your prayers before he slays you. I was growing so very fond of you, little bird.
I don't think I'm going to just let myself die that easily. I'll fight till the bitter end.
He smiles. But it's nearly sinister. Will you now?
Yeah. I'm not gonna let these people just come and take what they want, act like this is their home. Especially when they all seem so full of themselves. And honestly, I'm getting kind of tired of it. These gods and all the like. When I did that research about you, and I read what happened back then, I think it's bullshit. And I think it's bullshit that people think you're evil.
A pleasant thought, little bird. But do mind where you go prying. You might not like what you find.
Can't be as bad as the Scarlet King.
He regards you for a moment, as if pondering what you've said thus far. He withdraws his cane from beneath the crook of his arm, twirling it with a flourish before setting it down, tip, against the wood. A small spark emits on contact, and as he leans his palm into the cane, kind of leaning in close to Gandiva and taking a good look at her, he raises a hand up and places it on her chin, pulling back her lips. Have you been behaving yourself?
What does behaving entail?
He kind of frowns. You'll never meet your potential at this rate. Before turning away, returning back to that circle from which he stepped forth. Remember, little bird, do deliver that scroll. You wouldn't want to disappoint me now. And as he steps forward, the circle plumes up in a ring of fire. And Asmodeus's form evaporates in it, leaving nothing but a circular scorch where the circle once resided.
Cool.
Good talk, Dad. Good talk.
Thanks, Satan.
Yeah, thanks, Satan. now I'm going to focus on writing down what all the information that I found. And while Gandiva does that, I'll let somebody else go. But pretty much, I want to give those notes to Lance later on.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. Waking up, Lance at first is thinking about checking up on Chiquita, but then realizing to respect her wishes to give her space, um, he starts thinking about all the other people he still needs to talk to um, before the 3-day trip. But he doesn't want to leave the ship, so he thinks he should, if possible, try and find Youth and talk to her.
Considering the option, you decide to tap into the Sending Stone in hopes of potentially hailing down Youth, that you might meet up with her. And as you send your message across, you don't hear anything for a time. But then the crackle of static kind of fills your ear, and the familiar voice of Youth can be heard on the other end. You asked to meet up, letting her know that you currently reside within the Grim Kindness. The Grim Kindness, correct?
I
didn't hear you expressly say.
I didn't. Is there like quarters, or are we just assuming I've made the Grim Kindness like my home away from home?
There is a residential, like, kind of space allocated to you within the city. But honestly, it's not new. So if the Grim Kindness is your current vibe spot, as long as you don't blow anything up, I don't think anybody's gonna complain.
Okay. Yeah, I think even with all the stuff going on, it having something familiar to do, being in the library is probably what Lance would probably do for the most part.
Just don't summon any more demons.
I wouldn't know if I could.
All right.
Oh, what's this weird? What's this weird dark book here? Oh no.
Look, I'm gonna read it. I'm just not gonna read it out loud. That's the difference.
Does it count if it's in your head?
I mean, that's usually how it works in movies. You have to say it out loud.
All right. You hail Youth down, notifying her that you are currently within the Library of the Grim Kindness, and wish to meet that you might discuss some of the things that have recently taken place. After about roughly 30 to an hour, the door to the library opens, and the familiar form of the elven Youth makes her way within. She gives you a small, warm smile, and in tow, you see another person. A tiefling, a man, with long black hair drawn into a tight ponytail, curved horns, well-traveled clothes, and an uncharacteristically well-kept sword.
Sorry, am I? And hi, is there something else you need to do before we talk, or what's going on?
Oh no, this is Rex. He's visiting for a time.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you, Rex. And Lance puts a hand out.
The tiefling gives you a rather warm smile, reaches forward and firmly clasps your hand, shaking it. Why, hello, I'm Rex. Rex Lurian.
Uh, Lance Goodwin. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. Pay him no mind, you hear you say. He's just like a lost puppy at the moment. So what did you need?
Well, I guess he's not the only one lost right now. I guess I just wanted to talk because look, at first I was gonna say it's like, why do you trust us and you're putting all your faith, and now I guess we have these powers, so I guess there's no point in questioning that now, and we just have to trust each other. But it just as a as such a strong adventurer, is this what you have to deal with all the time?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes, actually. It wasn't always this bad. Lately, it just feels like it's been a war zone. But we've made do. I promise it does get easier. As for
Easier
why
would be
we
nice.
trust you, call it intuition, call it naivety. We just generally are a trusting bunch. We try to do good, see the best in people. And usually, if you're not going around murdering everybody, that's a good start.
Lance kind of squints at that mention, and I was like, look, I know we're agreed to work together, but I hope there's no. I'm sorry about him coming onto the ship. I had no idea something like that would happen. And he's closing his eyes right now, going,
Her expression gets a little sad. But not as dour as you expect. Well, if it's like you said, you didn't know what was going to happen. A lot of people were lost, but we were able to save some, and that's a start. It's better to be able to save some than to save none, right?
I suppose that's true. It's just when you say it's easier, are you also saying it's easier to accept that you can't save everyone? Or is that always going to be hard?
I think you see her really giving that statement some hard reflective thought. I think that it doesn't ever really get easier losing the ones you can't save. But it does get easier to pick yourself up after the failures. And to keep picking yourself up after the failures. Because when you stop, then you can't save anyone anymore.
I barely know anything right now of what's going on, but can you relate to just being chosen for something and feeling vastly underqualified for it, but you have to try?
She smiles widely. Almost to a point where it makes you a little uncomfortable. And then she points to the sigil just beneath her eye. At first, it was terrifying. There was a few cases where I nearly died. But when I realized that being chosen didn't mean I was being forced to do this. Being chosen meant that I was the only one who could do this. And when I got strong enough, I began seeing Maestra in person. And I learned that she's a lot more relatable than you might think. I guess what I'm trying to say is everybody's doing their best, even if their best isn't what they want it to be. And that's all you really can do.
Lance gives a smile. It's a little weak, but you can feel the appreciation. And he starts thinking about what Ao said. You said it was easier to pick yourself back up from the failures. I don't want this to come off rude. But would you care to tell me your stories so I can learn from them and maybe try things a little different or do it my way and see if there can be different results?
Sure, I can't see why not. Perhaps we'll sit down and share it over just some drinks.
I would appreciate that. I hope I'm not taking too much of your time because I know, end of the world kind of situation. Actually, and I just as I say that, I'm like, I look and Rex, I'm like, should I have not said that out loud?
He begins to break out into boisterous laughter. And Youth, blushing, says, no, he's fine. We would probably all be dead if it weren't for him. I actually mean that. A few years back, well, it's a long story. We'll talk about it over drinks.
Sounds good. And Lance says, he bows and he's just like, thank you for what you did. I don't know what it is yet, but thank you.
He just keeps laughing. Like, he can't even get a single word in between the gasps for air.
That's my bardic charm for you. But I'm sure there's other things you need to attend to at this time.
Swing by in the evening. There's a tavern on the 5th level.
Fifth
They have
level.
some
Okay,
good drinks. We can talk then.
great. Love good, strong drinks.
She smiles, ruffles the feathers of your crown, and takes her leave alongside Rex, whom is laughing the entire way out.
Lance is just doing that uncomfortable smile and wave. And then when they leave, he starts to like grab his things and remember that there's other things he should probably do on the ship while there's the limited 3 days.
Fair enough. And with the departure of Youth and Rex, Lance begins to set off to tie up some loose ends before the good, long trip ahead of them to the Anarok deserts. Meanwhile, what's Isla getting up to?
Hi. So Isla wants to go visit Marin again before she heads off and does something else. She may have planned.
Eager to meet up with Marin again, Isla quickly flits about through the corridors of Aurora, leaving their residence behind and taking the lift to the upmost surface layer of the city. Heading out to the training yard where she had met up with Marin before, She makes her way into the main building of the campsite, or the training yard, and sees a rather interesting spread. Inside, easily well over 40 children, ranging from ages 9 to their mid 20s. They apparently appear to be eating, and you are now sitting in the midst of a large, sweeping mess hall. At the far end of the mess hall, near where the serving area is, appears to be a priestess, dressed in darkened robes, but bearing no religious iconography. One feature of note specifically is the unusually pale complexion of the woman, almost ghost-like. If you didn't know any better, she looked like a walking corpse, minus the rot, of course.
I guess I'm gonna go walk over and say hi. What's up?
Hi.
I didn't plan this any further than saying hello.
Hi. What's
Oh,
who are you?
I'm Isla.
Isla.
Yes, I'm fairly new to the area.
Oh, well, welcome.
Thank you. So, what's your deal here?
I'm I'm like a necromancer, cleric. I run all the brothels. Um,
Oh, the brothels, you say?
yeah, these are all my children, the little lights. Um, yeah.
Sounds like you got a lot going on. Very busy days.
Yeah, very busy. Yeah. Um, yeah.
So, do you know if the food here is free or like?
I mean, if you tell them that to just put it on Silas's tab, I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. You could just
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I'll
eat all the
probably just do
food. I
that.
mean, he'll just pay for it.
I'll probably just do that, to be honest.
Yeah, you could just tell him like just put it on Silas's tab. Everybody knows what that means.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Just make him pay for it.
That's okay. Yeah, I'll just probably do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the brothel makes enough money as it is, so I mean, we'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Thank you
Yeah,
for the
I
suggestion.
wouldn't worry about like food or anything like that. Like, well, yeah, we figured out.
All right. Cool. Thank you. I'll
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
just do that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
yeah. Cool.
So I am also looking for somebody.
Yeah, what are you looking for?
Marin.
Oh, Marin. Oh, wow, she's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I've grown to liking her
Yeah,
too. She's a pretty nice kid.
she's got a lot of potential actually. I'm teaching her how to, you know, make undead constructs. It's
Oh,
really
so you're her teacher. She's told
yeah,
me a
yeah,
lot about you.
yeah. I'm like a necromancer. Like a I did some stuff.
I can't remember your name for the life of me, though.
Yeah, my name's Alce. Nice to
Ah,
meet you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Alce.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm probably not gonna remember your name.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
If we meet again, I'll remember you.
Thank you. So where is she?
Yeah, she should be probably with the other little lights somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Roll
she'll probably
perception.
yeah.
Okay. Hold on, let me pull up my character sheet. I kind of
Who her or me?
wait. Yeah,
Isla.
me?
Isla?
Okay,
Isla?
cool,
Okay,
cool, cool.
Isla.
Or you both can, if you both want to look for her amidst the crowd,
I
40
think I have
plus.
my character sheet.
I okay. Did I roll the right one? Yes, I did. Okay, cool. Good to make sure.
1 second, actually. Give me 1 second.
Okay, cool. I can wait.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll say it's willing to defer. So, as you look across the crowd within the mess hall, boisterous children, preteens, and teens alike, all kind of clamoring together, eating, being kids, you're able to spot one in particular, kind of sitting somewhat away from everyone else. And you're able to easily spot the sweeping bangs of Marin, whom seems to be eating applesauce.
Applesauce.
Oh, look at her right over there. She's so cute eating applesauce. Look at that. Look at how cute she is.
Yes, very adorable.
She's so cute.
I'm gonna go say hi. It was nice getting to meet you.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? While you're visiting her, you could give her these bones. Elsa just pulls out a bag of bones.
Yeah, I can do that. Sure.
My God.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm gonna just take the bones and then just like
Yeah.
slowly start walking away.
Yep. Bye. See you later.
I'm gonna
She
like
does like the weird, awkward, like forced smile, like a weird one. Like, you know, like people who don't know how to smile.
She smiles with her mouth,
yeah.
but not with her eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has like the freakishly
Anya
wide
smile. A little bit of an Anya smile.
Yeah.
She basically just shows her teeth.
Yo.
Eh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
And
Isla's-
as Isla attempts to slowly back away, you are suddenly caught on something. You begin to reel backwards. Roll an acrobatic save.
Oh shit.
I don't trust you. I trust
Woo!
And with a quick flit of your wings and the fairy agility you bear, you're able to quickly right yourself, realizing that one of the uniformed kids had apparently tried to trip you as you were walking backwards.
What the fuck?
Oh my god, demon child. All right. I'm just
Pretty smart for a kid to trip someone with wings.
Who did that?
I'm just gonna look at the kid. Wait, do I know which kid it was?
No, this well, the kid roughly about 5 feet away from you currently. He's giggling like an idiot, and clearly the one who did it. But you don't really recognize him.
I'm just gonna glare at him as I walk away.
Give him like the pointing eye thing, like I'm watching you.
yeah.
And as you back away, making your way over towards Marin, who, after the commotion, realized that you were there, beams up at you with a large, wide smile. Hello, Miss Isla. You hear the little one speak up.
Hey, kiddo, how are you doing today? Liking the goop you're eating?
She smiles, some of the applesauce still all over her face.
Oh.
Yeah, it's tasty.
Mind if I join you after I grab some food?
She nods enthusiastically.
Alright, I'll be right back, little one, okay?
You make your way back over towards Alcé, whom is standing just behind the serving table.
Hey.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I want food.
Yeah, I got you here. You just have like this whole thing right here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, this whole like
Cool.
just take a bunch of these too. Elsie's just like putting a bunch of fucking food on a tray.
Eggs,
She doesn't
sausage,
really understand
bacon, potatoes.
She doesn't really know like how much a person really eats anymore. She just kind of like piles it on there.
Kaz would love to be served by Alce.
thank you.
Yeah.
Can I get a little bit of that over there too?
Yeah, a little bit of.
Slaps
Yeah.
a fresh pancake on top of the pile on the plate.
Yeah, some pancakes. Here you go.
Yeah, okay, thank you. This'll do. And as you said earlier, just Silas's tab, you know.
Yeah, no problem. Don't worry about it.
Cool, I don't got any money.
I'll let him know. Like, give me money. Okay.
Yeah, I don't got any money with me on right now.
He has to pay child support anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna just slowly back away again.
Bag of bones in one hand, tray of food in the other, or platter of food in the other.
Yep.
You pass by the boy who had attempted to trip you before, watching him like a hawk.
I'm just gonna continue to glare at him as I walk by.
And as you pass, making your way back over to Marin, pull up a seat next to the young one, whom is idly spooning applesauce into their mouth. It's making a massive mess everywhere.
I'm just gonna hand Marin a napkin, be like, do you need this?
She grabs it and then rubs her entire face with it.
Does it
Much
just smear
better.
it? Does it just smear it, or does it actually get it?
She gets most of it off.
Okay.
There's still like a little bit hanging off the side of her cheek though.
I'm just gonna ignore that that's there. You know, you can have some of this too. You don't have to just eat applesauce.
Oh, I know. I just like applesauce.
Just applesauce?
No, I like other things too. I just like applesauce right now.
You know what? That's fair. Yeah, I get that.
She
How you
beams.
doing today?
She beams up at you proudly. I'm doing pretty good. I managed to find a new part for Mr. Bones, she says in a like overly loud whisper, which still manages to be obscured under the din of the other kids in the room.
I think I might have some for you too. I'm just gonna shake the bag in front of Marin.
And her eyes are practically sparkling with excitement. Can we go add them to Mr. Bones after?
Yes, but make sure you finish eating first.
She shoves the rest of the applesauce to her face.
Okay, not that. No, you make yourself sick.
Slowing down at your prompting, she begins to attempt to properly eat the applesauce without making a mess. But she's eating it unusually fast until she finishes. And then she tries to grab for the bag that Isla's holding.
Just gonna yank it back real quick. Be like, hold on a little bit. You drank any water today?
She nods.
Okay. I'm carrying the bag, but we can go see him. I'm just gonna shove like a pancake in my mouth before we walk off. Just the whole pancake. Just pick it up and just chill.
Just this big ass pancake hanging.
Yep.
Yep. And the two of you, pancake in tow, make your way out of the main hall, back into the training yard, and kind of as covertly as you can, despite the fact that there's currently nobody in the yard, make your way over to the shed together. Marin approaches, looking about with an almost comical level of suspicion before heading over to the shed door, opening the lock, and swinging it open. As you look inside, you're able to see the massive pile of incongruent bones poking this way and that. The only identifiable feature, the single skull sitting at the top of it all. A little bit more and I'll be able to finish Mr. Bones.
Well, I hope what I have here is enough. I hand the bag to Marin.
She dumps it out onto the floor just before Mr. Bones. Proceeds to, with an almost artistic squint, begin to scrutinize the structure. She picks up one of the bones and begins jamming it into a certain spot. Repeats this process with all the other bones that are there. She then turns to Isla. Okay, now this is the most important part. She goes over behind the pile of bones in the shed and, dragging her small boot in the dirt, creates a circle. She then withdraws a small little pendant from within her robes and pricks her thumb with it. She squeezes a small droplet of blood onto the circle and then speaks some words. Sasamale hamatskok fasala. And the circle begins to glow. The droplet of blood begins to spread as if it's making more of itself, filling the entirety of the small indentation in the dirt before glowing with an ominous necromantic light. The bones themselves give off a small, bright light before everything falls silent again. And she proceeds to kick her feet in short little strides where the circle was to mark it away. After surveying her work for a moment, a little bit more and that should do it.
So out of character question, just a odd random question. Do I happen to have any more bones on?
On hand? No,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Dang.
Why would you carry your own bones?
Don't ask questions.
Don't,
Here.
yeah, just don't,
Don't ask questions. Anyway, okay.
You, yep, never mind.
Am I? Okay. So how many more bones do you think you'll need?
Maybe 2 dozen?
Oh, okay. That's. Do they have to be like specific one, or
No, I can make them work wherever I need to.
okay? Okay. Yeah, that works. I'm sure I can see about getting you some.
She beams brightly. Really?
I promise nothing, but I can try.
She smiles. Oh, thank you, thank you. If I could finish Mr. Bones, then maybe Miss Alcé and Mr. Quint won't have to work so hard.
Maybe. A little help never hurts.
And she takes Isla by the hand, and the two make their way out of the shed as Marin locks up behind her. Thank you so much for bringing those, and for keeping Mr. Bones a secret. If the others knew, they'd probably try to break him.
Maybe we could break them before they get to him, but that's fine.
She smiles a little bit at what you say. I've thought about it. Mr. Bones could just mush him.
I wouldn't suggest doing it, though. I'm sure Mr. Quint wouldn't be very happy about that.
Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe I'll just mush their legs.
I still don't think he'd be happy about that.
And she just kind of shrugs.
But I guess legs are fixable, so.
Right? The legs were the first thing I finished on Mr. Bones.
Guess it's only, like, ceremonial that's the first ones to go then.
And she smiles wider, only this time it's making you a little uncomfortable.
Is it though?
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Is it though?
Is it though? I guess not. All right.
That is totally not sus.
Nah, it's fine. Don't ask questions. It's
And
okay.
as these two
I won't ask questions. I'll just be sus about it.
as these two share in a small bond, what does Caiaphas currently find himself doing?
Oh, Caiaphas is just now waking up. And he's just gonna walk towards Silas's workshop.
Almost as if on autopilot, you retrace the route that you had taken your previous two visits, heading down to the workshop in the lowest layers of the city. As you descend from the lift, making your way out into the landing, you see the door to Workshop 1 still missing a door, and walk right in. Within, you see Silas, currently poring over some notes that he has. And as you enter, he sees you immediately. Oh, hello, Caiaphas.
Is it ready?
Well, yeah, I was going to kind of get everyone together, but he points to the table across the way from him.
I'll walk over and pick up the spear. Inspect it thoroughly.
As you do, you can see that he's made some vast improvements to this variation. It's composed of some fine metals that you can't quite tell what they are at first glance, but it practically hums with energy.
What does it do?
Oh, what does it do? He smiles. Come with me. He leads you out of the workshop, down the opposite way of the hall, and taking a path that you've yet to walk before, leads you down another corridor. Passing through the doorway, you see a rather large interior space. Within there are scorch marks, rubble, and all manner of chaos, for lack of a better word. This here is our testing grounds. Informally, of course, but is the safest place we've found thus far to be able to test our weaponry and arms. Go ahead and give it a thrust.
All right, I'm gonna throw it.
Okay. How far are you throwing it?
How far is the farthest target?
The room sits at a distance of about 150 square feet, I want to say.
Shit, all the way to the end, as hard as I can.
Okay. 1 second. Okay. Caiaphas takes a step back. And then, with a small kind of leap forward, hefts the spear over his shoulder and launches it as far and as hard as he can. As it sails through the air, it begins to glow in azure, the bright light growing more intense as it travels further and further, before bedding into the ground and leaving a small, modest-sized crater, roughly 7 feet in diameter, in the ground where it bed, smashing down with a force uncharacteristic to the size and shape of the spear, almost as if a ballista cannon had just fired it. Satisfied, Silas smiles. Micarium. It's an alloy that I'm currently experimenting with. Picks up on kinetic energy. That spear there has all of what I have so far.
I'm just gonna go pick it back up and walk back to where he was. He's gonna. Is it an arcane focus? Can I
Yes.
launch spells?
Yes, it is an arcane focus.
I'm gonna use Eldritch Blast through it.
As you begin to attempt to test its efficacy as a focus for your arcane and eldritch magics, you begin to coalesce an eldritch blast in preparation to fire. Before launching the blast off through the spear, the bright azure light that it had before does not glow this time. Yeah, sorry about that. It has a bit of a cooldown. Give it a little bit before you try again. It should do the same trick. It takes a little bit for the vibration to dissipate.
I'm just gonna just continue to look at it. Is it like a color? Is it the same black color that I had on my
Yes.
Aiden blade?
The only difference is the edge of the weapon has a like bluish tinge to it, like blued steel.
Mm.
So where the taper is, it starts to like transition from black to blue.
Gonna wait for the cooldown to be done. Then he's gonna try it again.
And as you do so, firing the Eldritch Blast at its greatest distance possible, which is
Oh,
it's like 500 feet, isn't it? With the invocations that you have.
Ouch glass. 300.
300. Okay, I gotcha. Do an Eldritch Blast for me, please. I need to check something. Roll damage.
That's the first one. Second Eldritch Blast. 6.
What the fuck?
What
The
the
fuck is
fuck?
this?
Okay. So as you charge the Eldritch Blast, you pull the spear back and thrust as if you're attacking a target just before you. The beam of Eldritch energy coalescing at the tip of the spear is let loose, followed by a secondary bolt, dwarfed in size massively by comparison to the first, as it sails across the entirety of the space around you before crashing through the wall, piercing, and water begins to fill the space. Oh, that's bad. That's really, really, really bad. Oh, shit. You see Silas start rushing over to where the hole is.
I have something to fix that. Let me check. Spells. Nope. He's on his own.
I can create a chair. Will that help?
The chair. Summon a
The
guy. Summon a
almighty
guy.
chair. Yes, summon a guy. Stick him in the hole. That should plug it up good. All
So
right.
the guy fixes everything.
Yeah, it does. He hastily tries to mend the wall as fast as he can.
Uh,
Poor guy.
One sec.
Kind of feel bad, and I didn't even do anything.
And then is pushed back by the water's force. Okay, wait. Yeah, Caiaphas, we need to go. Right now. Let's go.
Feel like there were more practical solutions at hand.
Well, Silas is kind of panicking right now, okay? He wasn't expecting a hole to get blown through the fucking wall.
Fair enough.
You know the walls have AC too, you know that, right? He beat the AC of the wall.
Let's go. As you do.
As you do, just a regular day, you know?
Average Eldritch Blast.
And, ushering Caiaphas forward, the two of you leave the room, and he slams the door shut behind him.
Okay, you're just gonna leave it like that?
It'll cure itself.
We'll figure it out later. That's a problem for future us.
Oh my fucking
Okay.
god.
But, yeah. I call it the Macarian Lance.
We need those stats. Love those stats.
I love numbers.
I love the little numbers
love-
dick.
I love
Ooh,
the
match
Yeah.
Ew, numbers.
I love math.
I don't.
Got your
Math is
twin
gross. I'm just not good at
For
mathing.
real. Into the funny number dice.
Funny number.
Wow.
I'm
That's,
psychic.
Wow.
that's a lot of typing.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. I've been seeing the Silas Quintus typing thing for a solid 5 minutes now.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
god.
Wow.
terrified.
Wow.
What?
I'm just
Like,
about to
it's
send
just
you
like
a
a
whole book.
paragraph. I just see a paragraph.
At the end, it's gonna be like every time you attack, roll your death saving throws.
What the fuck?
Spontaneously combust and explode. Nah, I was just
That's-
typoing a lot, so I was fixing
That's
my
close enough
text.
to one of my abilities already.
It's only 5 words.
Watch it be
It
one
go
word.
boom big.
Big boom go rat-ta-ta-ta, skrat-ta-ta-ta.
Yeah, that's the sound.
And go rat-ta-ta-ta.
Alrighty. That should be, I think, good.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, that's
DM me
it.
if it's missing anything else.
No, it's lance is the like a normal lance is the base.
Yep.
Alright.
Okay, your characters and your stuff is always confusing me so much.
Lance and Alistair. I use the Lance against the Alistair. Lance, can you use
What the
your
fuck?
spear as haste on Alistair to counter the lance?
Easy,
I guess
just
I'm
call it
bleeding right
glaive.
now.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Alright.
Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
Beep, 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 beep.
So, with the door sealed behind the two of them, Silas looks to Caiaphas. Promise me you won't tell anybody about this.
What the fuck?
About what?
Good man.
Gandiva, was this how it was like when you all hung out?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were scared for their lives the entire time.
Yeah, I was so scared.
Fair.
Oh, almost kidnapped them. I was like, nah,
Shit.
Not yet.
not
Should have
yet.
just. Should have just stayed at your place.
Nah, bro.
What
Rather
the
sleep
fuck?
deprived was the mood.
What the hell?
With that said, Silas then takes a moment. You know, this actually reminds me. He reaches for the sending stone and sends out a message to the new few. Come to my workshop.
Damn, okay. Shoot.
Maybe I don't wanna.
Yes, sir.
On my way.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have no choice. Get in here. No.
Help, I'm trapped in the basement.
There's no basement. There's no basement.
Help,
We're not gonna
I'm
help you.
trapped.
We're gonna leave you there.
He is forcing me to play D&D 24/7.
D&D.
Whoops.
So does the party go to the workshop?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
I don't know about
we're
everyone
just,
else.
Yeah.
nah, we're just gonna stand him up. Yeah, we're gonna go.
I assume that was. I assume that was like implied.
Yeah,
Yes.
but okay,
Yeah,
gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what else we're
I'm
gonna
like
do. It's
someone juggling like multiple things right now, so bear with me. Sorry about that if I
All
didn't
good,
pick
all
up on
good,
it
all good.
immediately. All right. So as you all eventually, one by one, funnel your way downstairs
I bring
into.
Marin.
Sure, I don't see why not.
I bring Marin.
Hell yeah, Marin.
Isla, accompanied by Marin, Gus, Lance, Chiquita. They all, one by one. And as Kaz draws up the rear, Silas appears the opposite side of the room, standing behind a table. On the table are several cases. Each case is adorned with a specific specific person's name. These are for you. If I'm going to send you into the fire, I'm certainly not going to send you unprepared.
Good, because despite Kaz's draconic lineage, she's not exactly so fire resistant.
Wow, that's a big word you're using, Kaz.
Kaz is learning.
Wow, such a smart one you are.
good for
Or
you.
does that sound
Yes.
oddly condescending?
Kaz doesn't realize it. Not right now, at least.
Alright.
Simply Chiquita things.
With
So
that
what is
said,
this?
though, Kaz looking at all the various nameplates, she asks, which one is mine?
I'm just gonna point to the one with Kaz's name on it.
Kaz, do you not know how to read?
She established that. Yes, she doesn't.
Yeah, actually.
Well, did we? I don't remember that specific like.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We've
okay.
established that.
Right,
Yes, we
Kaz
have.
cannot read, yeah.
We've established that.
No,
Even
in
I know
character, or like I'm trying to remember, like
She
'cause
asked you to. She asked you to teach her how to read.
I no, I had that in the group chat. I didn't remember it in like
No,
talking.
she
Like
said that in. No, she said that in the boat.
I'm trying to remember now.
I'm pretty sure you said that in the boat.
I'm just
Yeah, actually, I
I
vaguely
could have sworn the
remember that.
plan was that.
I'm just
Not
gonna
that we
keep,
established it.
just gonna keep pointing to the one with Kaz's name on it, just standing there, just pointing.
Yeah, got it.
All right, cool.
In retrospect, then, I mean, she doesn't even know what it says on her apron that Lance made for her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was. Oh no, I think that was the thing that triggered it. It's like you asked what it was because you can't read, and then that's what when Lance
Oh,
found out.
okay. If that's the case, then yeah, okay. But okay,
makes sense,
I need
yeah.
to, in character, I need to set time to actually teach Cass because
Poor Kaz. It's not easy being raised as a slave.
Oh,
we're gonna fix that.
Yes.
so what are these?
These are specific pieces of equipment that I've tailored for each of you, based off of what I noticed when we were dealing with things in the hangar. I had initially intended to do something else. However, given the recent turn of events, I figured adjusting my approach would have been prudent. The events of the hangar could have gone way, way worse. But fortunately, we made it out alive. I intend on swinging the odds in our favor for the future. And it starts by making sure you all are prepared.
Are you going to tip the scales in justice's favor?
I suppose you could say that. Not exactly the lofty ideal I had in mind. Living till tomorrow is kind of what I was aiming for.
Fair enough.
But we can still go back to Vareka, Verdeki, Didiki. The place with Vamio person. Yes?
I suppose
Oh yeah.
if
Yes.
you had an appointment with
Yes.
him, you might want to go before the trip begins.
Yeah, he wants to grant us a wish, and Kaz does have a request. Yeah.
Well, fire away.
Kaz wants to know if that Vamio, if he can send someone secretly, someone of power like him has, what's the word? A giant? He knows the one, right?
You wish for him to send out a scout, or?
Yeah, scout. To send a message back home. To let all my clanmates know Kaz is still alive. But without anyone else knowing. Very secret, hush, yes?
Fair enough. I suppose I can send a crow his way and see what he can do.
Ooh, Kaz thanks you. Muchly, very lots.
He then gestures to the cases. Each of these bears a specific item that I thought you might find useful in the future.
New things. Yay.
As Isla opens up the case, within is a short sword. Ornate in design, eldritch runes scribed along the broadside of the blade. As Kaz opens theirs, within a ornate maul bearing the iconography of Lathander. He comments, "That was a gift from Inigo, a companion of mine. You could think of him as a bit of a collector of sorts. He heard that you were all in need and offered some of the weapons in his armory."
Ooh, this one looks like it was smashed lots. Kaz likes this.
As
Thank
he,
you for the sword.
You're very welcome. That I made myself, actually.
Ooh, fun things. What's it do?
It makes the things that you stab with it very, very unhappy.
Good.
I mean, just in general, Kaz doesn't like being stabbed either. That doesn't seem very special. Pardon me. Ugh.
I thought so too, but I wasn't gonna say anything because it was a gift. But okay.
As Silas points to the case labeled with Gus's name. He opens it, and within are some very large rounds for what looks to be a firearm.
Okay.
They glow where the bullet meets the casing, and on each of them, a small sigil. Upon closer inspection, it looks to be an evocation marking. I know of your
Elemental
proclivity.
bullet.
I know of your proclivity for things that go boom. These
Elemental
might be
bullet.
helpful.
You shouldn't have. I'll make good use of this. Right. And he pockets it into his bag.
Fair enough. Within is a total of 100 rounds, by the way. Yeah.
Okay. I will ask for the details later.
Yep, I'll shoot you the DMs in just a little bit, okay?
Alright, no worries.
I think I made the lance. Let me try it. I think I did it correct. 50-50. Does that look right so far?
Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah. Good. Awesome. Okay. He then turns to Lance. What you had done for me when you had brought me that book, it meant a great deal. Part of what was in this case was originally meant for Jean, but I figured it might serve you better in the current situation.
Oh.
As you open the case, what you find is a book. Within the book's pages, a thin strip of cloth scribed with arcane runes. And next to the book in the case, a set of 6 silvered, feather-like quills.
Thank you. I'll be sure to write stories of everything that happened.
I reason it will serve you well in the future.
I trust your work.
And he lastly turns to Chiquita. While I was not able to forge you any arms, I was able to work with Roko to fabricate some parts for you. If you have some time later, Roko or myself can install them. And in the process, this should also work to repair your damaged chassis.
Very nice. I am humbled.
I will warn you all, the mission I send you on will have you exploring ruins that once belonged to a very fearsome Solarian group. if all goes to plan, the ruin should be empty, and you'll be able to recover the scroll with little effort. But if it's not, may those weapons serve you well in what's to come.
What?
Thank you again.
Think nothing of it.
Okay.
So, if there's anything that you all need to address, conclude, work through, the city leaves in 3 days. I encourage you to resolve before we go.
Cool. Chiquita goes. Chiquita just leaves. She's gonna go get those parts installed by Roko, I guess.
Typhus is gonna take each short rest is 1 hour. Right?
Yes, indeed.
72 short rests.
Aw,
Wait, what?
Are you
It's gonna take
okay?
72 short rests over the course of
Good
the
roll.
next.
Short rest.
Good bro, what the heck?
okay. Isla's gonna linger around.
It'll all make sense soon.
Typhus
That's
is just gonna
very.
pass out on the
That's
floor like
very.
right then and there.
I mean,
That's
He's not literally
He-
gonna get to just 72 straight long rests. Like, he's gotta
Yeah, I mean-
eat and sleep and all, you know what I mean?
I was like,
yeah,
you're
it's
saying you
this is
enter a
big.
coma?
Yeah, right, like, it
Something
goes
like
into
that.
coma.
Medically induced coma? What the heck?
I mean, I'm
Every
trying to-
time I
I'm
wake
trying-
up, I cast haste on myself so I have a heart attack and go back to sleep.
Stop. Oh my god.
Gods.
What's up, Renter?
No, that's fine. I'm
Alright.
just trying to wrap my head around that. It's like, okay.
I have a speculation of something, but I'm not going to say that loud.
All right, all right. I kind of know what he's trying to do, but it's like, all right.
Already got all my
Okay.
prep done. This is all that's left.
Oh my god.
This is the
I'm on a
last piece of
mission.
the puzzle.
It's not ominous in the slightest. Okay.
I mean, there's been worse things. That's the
That's-
least of my worries.
What are the... You know, never mind.
You never got to do dog in a barrel.
You don't have
Anyway,
to talk anymore.
I was gonna hang back with Silas and Marin.
That was an actual torture technique back in the days. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it was in the museum, saw it. Yeah,
So, real.
it's real. We missed our opportunity.
I'm scared of you guys.
So as the party kind of breaks off to do whatever it is they intend to do, this leaves Silas, Isla, Marin, Chiquita, whom is waiting for Roko, within the workshop, if the others decide to head off.
Sorry, I didn't pick up on the description. Can I recognize what the if the book? Because like I know we talked about it, but like if I can recognize the book from my previous handling of it.
Oh yeah, you immediately recognize the book.
Oh,
Because
okay.
what
if
you
that-
look at is the journal of none other than Rudolf von Richten.
Okay, then yeah, then I kind of want to talk to Silas about it at least a little
No,
bit
fair enough.
before.
Yeah, if you want to hang back, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to, make sure I... So, with that said, Kaif just idle around in the the workshop.
Yeah, more or less. He's kind of twiddling his thumbs,
What else can I
waiting
destroy?
waiting in anticipation to set off the next Eldritch blast.
Oh, yay! Just create a chair in somebody's throat. Just as one does.
As will also hang out, but to bide her time by just picking up random pieces of bits and pieces, whatever looks heavy enough for her to use as weightlifting.
You say that, I'm just imagining instead of picking up things, you're picking up us.
She's tempted.
You did try picking up Owlboy before, so
Didn't go so well that first time. She wasn't in the mood, apparently.
yeah. Always next time.
Yes.
So, you kind of look around the workshop and curious as to what you might be able to fashion into a set of makeshift weights. You happen across a piece of what looks to be piping with a large mechanism on one end and a ring mechanism on the other. You can't quite make out what the heck you're looking at, but it looks heavy. So you try to press it. Give me a strength check.
Oh, come on, Kaz. You can do better than that.
We'll say due to your proximity to Silas at the moment, as he's also in the workshop, you're relatively close enough that his aura is within range.
Less.
Get a plus
That's
4.
advantage. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just a plus 4. Adds his modifier to saves and checks. 114 is sufficient. You struggle under the weight and mass of this large, rather off-balanced piece of machinery. Tool, your understanding of engineering is too rudimentary for you to be able to really discern. But with some effort, you manage to press it over your head once, twice, 3 times before hefting it back onto the floor with a heavy thud and a satisfied grin.
Hee.
And after watching this display, Silas looks to Kaz and says, "Do try not to break things,"
Oh, sigh.
before turning to Isla and Lance. Is there anything I can help you with?
I'd prefer to go last.
Well, I'm very appreciative of what you gave me, but are you sure you're okay with giving me this? I thought it had a lot of significance for you.
With Youth's help, I was able to make a duplicate. The book, it's what it means more than anything. And given your proclivity for academics, and Youth's sheer insistence at aiding specifically in this endeavor, I thought it was best. Especially when I consider the implications. Youth, at one point, was involved with Richten at a different time. If Youth is willing to pass on the tome, I've no excuse
Well, if you two are willing to give me these, and along with the quills, I promise to do everything I can to and help you get peace of mind from what happened. Was it yesterday, technically, or I'm losing
Yeah,
track of
it was
how.
literally yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Um, Peace of what happened. Peace of mind from what happened yesterday, and atone for what happened.
No. After discussing it with you all, if I were to condemn you, I'd be a hypocrite. I've made the same regretful mistakes. And, well, your story convinced me. Given what I've seen, I don't think you would willingly bring a demon into the city and risk so much harm and then stick around after the fact. Usually when people commit atrocities, they tend not to stick around after for the mess, if you will. I was angry at first, but after seeing everything that we saw yesterday, my personal feelings are less important than the overall mission. I can be bitter and angry when we all have a tomorrow.
Right. And together we'll get that tomorrow somehow.
Well, fingers crossed, eh? He offers a hand to Lance.
Lance accepts and puts his hand out as well.
Here's to hoping that we don't have any more demons ripping open the insides of our city.
Yeah. Instead, we'll be ripping them a new one, right?
Eee.
Yes. I don't get sucker punched twice.
And okay, I'm gonna go now. Lance is so awkward.
Silas nods. Until next time.
Yes. Thank you for believing in us.
Thanks for giving me a reason to. He says under his breath as Lance leaves, before turning to Isla. So, what can I help you with?
Right. So might not like my question as much. I don't really know how to ask this, I guess. Um, so Marin, the little one. Hi. uh feel awkward asking this. Right. It's gonna be the first and last time you ever see me nervous, Silas. I like Marin, and I'd like to see about adopting her.
Mm.
His eyebrows shoot up in surprise. Pardon?
Yes.
Silas looks to Marin, whom seems both surprised and excited. And, what brought about this sudden decision?
Yeah, I guess it is sudden. It's only been a few days. All right. Well, it was, I guess, during the hangar incident. Um, Marin happened to be there, and we were talking before the whole happened. I don't know, just I had a sudden urge to protect her, and I don't know. After that, I kind of just grew attached to her. Also, I see a lot of myself in her.
His expression shifts from surprise and softens.
Oh no. Oh
10.
no.
Not
Oh
10. Oh my
no.
god.
Welcome, one and all, to a
Silas,
prime
why?
example of Silas's absolute potato brain insight.
I can't breathe.
Oh
This
yeah,
is
this
this is literally
this
a running trend, man. He's got the insight of a fucking potato.
Yep.
yeah, this lady who's like only met this girl I've been protecting for just a day,
He's
seemingly
attempt.
just wants to adopt them for no reason.
Well,
Sure, that's legit.
relax. We haven't get that. We ain't got all the way there yet. He was trying to see how honest she was being about that statement.
I'm just saying how sus that sounds.
Yeah. Oh yeah. From the outside looking in, he's like, "Wait, what? Yep. Didn't you just meet this kid yesterday?"
Badge.
But
Not how you spell breathe.
so with all that said, then how about this? You can spend time with Marin. You know, hang out. And if things work out when this is all said and done, I don't see why Marin can't have a real family of her own. Let's be frank, I'm not exactly parent of the year for some of the choices I've made.
You're trying though, and sometimes, especially in parenthood, can be all that matters, at least in the moment. I guess as long as you make up for it in the end and don't cause any lasting damage, then
That's the hope.
Just like I don't know how convincing this is. It's just like the rambling on of like it's like wait, what are you saying to him?
Isla's not trying to be convincing. Isla's nervous.
Okay, fair
Nervous.
enough.
But, yes. You're more than welcome to spend time with Marin when you're here in Aurora. But, for now, I'd rather she stay with those she's familiar with. At least until things quell.
That's fair. I don't want to put her in more danger.
Agreed. But your inquiry does mean quite a bit to me. I think you're the first person who's ever approached me looking to provide a real family for these children. So thank you for that.
I would say you're welcome, but it just kind of feels weird in this instance to say that. But sure.
Yeah, well, this whole situation is weird, let's be frank.
Alright, I'm sorry for making this situation awkward.
No, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Again, like I said, I appreciate you showing interest in little Marin.
I can't say I have any experience adopting children, so
Oh, well,
bound to be a little awkward.
perhaps building up towards then, you can learn.
Is Lance still there? Is Lance still in the room, or is it just
Lance
me
left.
No,
he
I
departed,
left.
yeah.
God damn it! God damn it!
Yeah, he would be horrified at this.
What do you mean? Where does our boy go? Ha! And Kaz runs out the room too to catch up to him.
You know what? I think Gus might still be there. So can Gus do a insight check? Now that I think about it,
Sure.
yeah, Gus would
I
still
mean,
be
yeah,
there.
you never
Valid.
expressly said that you were that Gus left, so yeah.
Insight. I mean, my insight's not that good, but no, it's worth a roll.
Give it a go.
A 16. So, as you recount the words spoken by Isla and their reference at the kinship they feel they share with Marin, despite the suspicious vibes the fairy gives you, those words rang true.
Okay.
Isla genuinely cares for little Marin.
Which that in itself is also concerning, but still. Alright.
How is that concerning?
Damned if you do, damned if you don't, poor Eden.
Dude. Dude, if you build attachments to a child after meeting them for one day, yeah, that is concerning.
Share
But Gus is
trauma.
like,
Share trauma.
good. But Gus is
Okay.
not. In character, Gus is like, okay, that's weird.
How is that? I don't. Okay.
Gus doesn't
It's
really
weird.
care.
Anyways,
to
I'm
be
gonna go
honest.
smoke a cigarette now.
I'm gonna cry.
All right. So, as we turn our attentions away from the workshop, within a bustling, rather busy tavern, Youth and Rex wait patiently for Lance's arrival. Seated at a table near the window that they might peer out.
Yeah, why not? Lance is having an awkward day. So, he would be there a few minutes earlier, but he's actually outside pacing a bit before he steps in. Like, okay. You said you basically saved them. Okay. So the people that you look up to, there's someone that higher that you look up to them. Okay, you can do this. And he takes another breath as he walks into the tavern.
Just a quick thing. If he did arrive early but hung out outside for as long as he did, would Kaz have caught up to him by then?
Give me a dex check. This is more to see how quickly. average speed. And was Lance in a hurry?
I'll say he wasn't at first because he was talking
I was like
with
running through.
Silas.
Yeah.
But then he was like, "Oh shit, this is the same." I agreed to another thing to talk about. I gotta go.
Okay. Alrighty. All right. So, I would say that as Lance was proceeding through the city streets, Kaz would occasionally catch a glimpse of Lance at a distance, allowing the kobold to pursue. And it isn't until Lance comes to a stop near the restaurant in question does the distance begin to close between the two of you. And as you approach, you see the pacing Owlin, kind of nervously muttering under his breath.
Kaz is thinking you're supposed to go inside, yes?
Oh, uh, yeah, I know that. It's just we've been going through a lot, so just want to make sure before I step in, I don't do anything dumb.
And Kaz goes for an embrace.
Are you gonna check how strong the embrace is, or is it gonna be a
Nah,
normal one,
it's just a gentle one.
gentle one? Okay. Oh, I'm still assuming it's still a little tight. Uh, thanks, Cass.
You're
I
going to be
appreciate
okay.
it.
You'll be okay, our boy. You'll be okay.
Okay.
She lets go.
Okay. If do you want to come with me, I guess, to the tavern?
Gleefully, she nods. Yeah.
Okay.
I like being with you. It makes me feel safe. Yeah?
Yeah. Speaking of which, I need to teach you how to read now that I think about it, but that's for later.
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. And Lance takes one more deep breath before walking into the tavern.
The tavern bells jingle, announcing your entrance into the bar. Can be just barely heard over the audible din taking place within. The sound of patrons and tavern goers alike enjoying their meals, music, and merriment. As you scan the interior of the space, in the distance you're able to see, seated at a table, Rex and Youth, both of whom stand out quite drastically comparative to the others present. As you cross the distance and approach the table, the two of them greet you with a welcoming smile.
Hey. Sorry if I'm a little late. Just had a talk with Silas real quick. Hope I didn't keep you waiting.
No, you're fine. We haven't been here very long.
Oh, good. So, Silas told me about the significance of the book, and you giving your approval. So I just wanted to also say thank you for entrusting this with me, and I don't take that lightly.
Well, we wouldn't have the book if you hadn't brought it to us. And at this point, it felt like it would serve you better than us.
I intend to make sure you're right about that. Well, now that we're here, you seemed really excited about when I asked about you going through similar experiences as how I'm feeling right now. So I guess I just want to learn from you and be as good and cool as you are.
Youth
And
blushes
I'll-
at that comment.
The coolest.
And also him too, and also you too, Rex. And I whispered to Kaz, he apparently saved them. He seems pretty strong, just so you know.
Oh. Yeah. Kaz was sure she is lot strong.
The tiefling flashes you a charming smile. It's not nearly as glorious as you might think, he says, having overheard the shared whispers between the two of you.
Oh, sorry. It just seemed really exciting is all.
Youth
It's like stories.
kind of frowns. Exciting, perhaps, but it was one of the worst days that we've ever experienced.
Lance kind of grits his teeth. Is like, oh, I'm sorry.
It's long in the past now. But since we're talking about it, why not explore a little bit more, shall we? Would you like to hear the tale?
If you don't mind.
She nods.
Kaz rests her elbows on the countertop and her chin in her hands.
Some years ago, roughly just over 3, a island kingdom in the far west, the Sea of Swords, had sent a missive to Barovia asking for foreign aid and help, as a war had apparently broken out upon the island, and the nations composing it were at each other's throats. Due in part to the Emperor of Aetheris having passed away. Our contact asked us to meet them in the city of Lysac. And so, we took the Grim Kindness there, and what we found was a city nearly rivaling New Barovia in its advancement. Ships, airships, factories. It was quite impressive. When we had got there, the acting countess, Annalita von Ryza, had hired us to track down a missing person. A young man by the name of Wilhelm. What proceeded was a plot set in motion by a cult-like organization known as the Morbus Doctor. Under the guise of fighting against the sickness plaguing the city at the time, they experimented cruelly on the citizenry and did all manner of atrocity. Together with the help of some of the locals, we managed to expose Lucien, the leader of the Morbus. It was around that time that we had met him, she says, gesturing a thumb towards Rex. He opted to aid us in our fight, and with his help, we were able to track down Lucien and confront him. But what we learned was that Lucian was the horseman of conquest. What he did that day was unforgettable. The amount of life lost, the sheer destruction to the city itself. We fought as hard as we could. Even then, that barely stood. It was thanks to Rex, whom struck at the right moment, were we able to actually defeat him. And even then, his plot had succeeded. Whatever horrible eldritch ritual he had invoked, whatever experimentation he had done to the city, it took. And when he fell, just before his final breath, he called forth some abomination from the sky. It landed into the sea and then approached the city. I had never seen something so huge. That abomination was known as the Filth Grazer. And it was with us together that we were able to repel the beast. With a little ingenuity, combined effort. Rex, wielding that same sword you see on his hip now, grew to a massive size and fought the creature. Something happened, though. She says, almost with a dawning realization. Right before the fight ended, both Rex and the monster disappeared. She turns to Rex. What happened exactly after that? Rex's usually casual demeanor is now rather serious. I don't really remember too much about what happened after. I just remember waking up on the shores south of Baldur's. And then you came and picked me up after I managed to get in contact. But yes, and lo and behold, the unlikely few failed that day. And probably would have perished were it not for Rex here.
Wow. I guess part of failure is also accepting it's not all failure if you're able to survive, right?
Yes. And here we are, fighting to preserve tomorrow.
No pressure.
No pressure.
You wouldn't happen to have advice or anything aside from what we've already talked about? It's just
Well,
there's just a lot going in my mind right now, and I don't know what to even think about.
what helps me is taking it a step at a time. Yes, the goal before us is daunting, but there are many others that need to be met before we can even achieve that. Keeping focused on the steps leading towards victory will help keep things in perspective and maybe make things a little bit less overwhelming.
Okay, that makes sense. It's something I'll have to get used to, but that makes sense.
We all started somewhere. We were you at one point too, you know. You'll get there.
Well, as long as I'm able to succeed enough to survive, yeah, I'll get there. And then he grabs Kaz's hand. We're going to get there together.
Yeah. She clasps her other hand on top. Together.
Thanks for talking to me.
Anytime.
Okay. I'm sure we don't need to talk about all these stories too. We can have fun while we have
Yes,
just
all
a
of
moment.
this solemn talk has left me a little thirsty. She flags down the nearby waiter and orders a round of drinks for everyone. As the trio, or the quartet, share in some merriment, some more uplifting stories of better times, and for the night, forget about what's in store. And I think tonight, that's where we'll end the session. You will have 3 days, technically 2 days before you, as the next session will be picking up in transit to the deserts. So, do
No
get
time
back
for
to
the
me.
other thing?
What's that?
No time for the other thing?
That's exactly what I'm implying. Any specific things that you wish to address in that 2-day span of time, please send it to me so I can include it in the intro/recap for the next session. And as always, my friends, thank you so much for tonight. It's a bit lore dumpy, but things are going to be picking up big time in the next session.
I want blood. I want war. I want blood. I want
Say,
war.
considering the
I
other
just-
stuff was a lot of fighting and drama, I think this
I
might have been good.
I just want to say that I got dates wrong in my head, and I thought
It's
it had
okay,
more than
Eden.
one
I
day.
absolutely, yep. I picked up on everything that was going down. It's
And
okay.
I was just like, oh god, it's only been like a day or so. Oh, this is weird.
Yeah, that's why
It
yeah.
happens in all campaigns where you're
It
just like,
does. Time can
it's
be
been
really
a month.
weird.
Nope,
Yeah.
it's been a day.
Cause like, yeah, for example, you could have played for like 4 sessions that month, but only a week passed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can
feels
be like
it's
that. It
already
could
been,
definitely be
a
like that.
week.
So don't even. Yeah, a lot should have happened in the last few sessions.
Oh my god.
But
I mean,
if it
we
is
keep.
something you intend to pursue, you'll have plenty of
Yeah.
chance to do that up all the way to the. Yeah.
I plan to. I just, I thought it had been more than a day.
So, any other questions, concerns, comments? You know me.
Oh, can I like get a job for like the next 2 days to get some money?
Yeah. Just get back to me about what you want to do. It's a little side hustle. That's actually pretty normal and par for the course with downtime.
Actually, if I was willing to work for some coin, Gus might have some jobs for her.
Well, Isla still wants free time outside of the job, so what are you gonna have her do?
Oh, it's literally going to be like paperwork.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Sure. I guess Isla's
Yeah.
working for Gus for the next 2 days.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Working with
Basically,
Gus. Hanging with
basically like
Marin.
yeah, basically
Maybe.
like
Secretary.
oh
Activities.
no. One Darren is enough already.
What?
One Darren
More.
is enough already.
I'm not. What? That's not what I
More.
meant at all.
More
Oh.
parents.
No. Just Isla, get some money, hang with Marin. Activities.
Yeah, basically just help out with some shipment manifestos, like help sign things, help compute things. That's all.
I get you. Secretary work, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty par for the course.
Isla's
Alright.
kind of dumb though, so good luck with that.
Ah, it'll be fine. All right.
It'll be fine.
Much love,
Basically,
guys.
whatever mistake you make, duck from your pay. It's fair.
No, don't do
no.
that.
It's performance based.
Roll a D100.
Honestly.
Actually, no. Roll an intelligence.
Oh no, that's even worse.
Intelligence. Oh, that'd be so. What is Isla's intelligence? Oh, I mean, it's not as bad as I thought it was, but
Nah.
it's not good.
Yeah.
I suppose
it's
there's
basic.
downtime. Oops, sorry.
It's basic arithmetic, man. That'll be fine. If you can count coins, you'll be fine.
But yeah. Any specific downtime tasks that you want to work towards, be it gathering information, training, or any other things in mind, definitely get back to me before next Wednesday.
I'm just trying to figure out how much I can fit in that time because it feels like Lance is gonna try and talk to everyone.
Nah, if
all the
you have a
NPCs
lot of
met.
different stuff you want to do, just you hit me with the DMs. We'll work through all that. We'll work through that, and we'll see how much time you actually have to really work with covering all those people. Because I figured that's exactly what you were trying to. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it would feel out of character if I didn't, but also I'm trying to like, I think Lance now wants to start trading. I just have no idea how he's gonna do it.
Got you. Maybe you talk to Gus. You know, he is a merchant.
It is a possibility.
He's a D&D orc.
A lot of things to consider.
Yeah. But with that said, friends, much love. Really appreciate you guys coming through every Wednesday.
I am a figment of your imagination.
Oh no.
GG.
I need my
Oh,
gushers.
Finally, you
just
say it.
came.
I was waiting for this.
I knew it.
Wow. I am the worst thing to imagine.
I don't even think my brain could come up with you.
Oh, that's so mean.
My god.
I need different friends, because obviously.
Far beyond human imagination.
Incomprehensible.
I'm-
Eden is the Scarlet King.
my
Oh
feelings
no,
are
plot
hurt.
twist. Eden is the Scarlet Queen.
With all
Are
the
we
other
talking about
stuff you
Eden
said,
Character, or Eden the player?
Yes.
yes.
Eden the
Yes.
person.
I love
Yeah.
that. Alrighty, guys. I'll catch you in a few.
Alright.
GG.
Jeez.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night. What a session, guys. Wow. Bit lore dump. But with the sheer amount of information that I really want to convey to them so that they can make the informed decisions they're trying to go for, I could taste it. But this is but a preamble of what's to come. And I hope you stick around to enjoy the tale. Because boy, is it going to get wild. So with all the love from the DPRQ, the unlikely few, and the new too, you folks take care of yourselves. Be sure to get plenty of rest. Is this the cornerstone of a fundamentally productive day? To drink plenty of water. As hydration is fundamental for good health. But most importantly, and I cannot stress this enough, that you can continue to love yourselves and each other. That tomorrow might be a better day. And I eagerly look forward to catching you all then. With some Destiny 2, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to stop on by if you want to see us shoot some aliens. But before we cap the night off, how about we shoot a nice raid over to some fine folks who deserve it? Spread that love. How about we drop a raid over at Yariko-san? Be sure to spam that chat with every emote that you possibly can to show and stress how much love we have over here. And be the best goddamn citizen of the DPRQ you can be. And I'll catch you tomorrow, soldiers.
You're playing Dungeons and Dragons, nice.
Yo,
Uh,